We will next move to the nominations for Board of Education. And for that purpose, I would like to now invite to the podium Sarah Bishop.
Thank you, first of all, for letting me speak on behalf of my father, but I'll make this quick. I just wanted to support his nomination for Board of Education. As most of you know, he's been on the Board of Ed since 1991, and his dedication and commitment to education in the town of Guilford is beyond comparison to some of the board members in my eyes. He no longer has any children left in the Guilford school system, as his son graduated last year, but now I know his commitment has furthered for the youth of Guilford as well as his grandchildren that are someday in the future going to be represented hopefully in the Guilford school system as long as I stay in town. Just a few things. I know my notes here, I apologize. Some of the things like the community task force that failed the 2003 referendum, he's been committed to, sorry, I'm out of breath here. Committed and active to finding solutions for our town for funding, updating school facilities in the next 2 generations. He's fought hard to properly fund maintenance for our buildings. And one of the main things as a business owner, he's very well of the financial challenges to run a business and carefully looks at how the best ways to use our tax dollars to deliver the education. My biggest thing, let's return him to the Board of Education. Let's, keep him going. I hope he's here for another 20 years on the Board of Ed, and he may not like that, but, his dedication and commitment, his attendance speaks for itself, so thank you.
We'll now resume with our nominations. I thank you, Representative Candelora, for taking a special trip to get here. We much appreciate the support that you've given us here in Guilford and the support you give to all of our state residents. I'd like to next recognize Mike Mickelay.
Good evening. My name is Mike Mickelay, 105 Winthrop Road. As a neighbor, fellow Republican, and parent, it gives me great pleasure to second the nomination of Keith Bishop so that he can continue the hard work he puts forth as a member of the Board of Education. I proudly support Keith as he seeks election to his 6th term and look forward to seeing him complete the work he started here on the facilities and pushing forward the results of the Community Task Force. Guilford should be proud to have such a dedicated civil servant, and I urge you to vote for Keith this fall. Thank you very much.
I would also like to invite to the podium Stephen Reben to confirm the nomination of Keith Bishop.
Well, after having had 2 nominating speeches for Keith, I'm more than happy to second that nomination to the fullest extent. As a past Board of Education member of some 13 years, I can wholeheartedly endorse Keith's candidacy for yet another term in that position, and we'd like to thank Keith for the hard work he's done for us in the past here in Guilford. I'd like to see him be able to continue that fine work in this next election process.
Boy, that is a long time. One other side order of business. I need an approval from you. One of Linda Sanacora's nominators, her husband Jerry, is not a registered Republican, and I indulge you to permit Jerry Sanacora to the podium for the purposes of nominating Linda. May I have a motion to do that?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. For the purposes of nominating Linda Sanacora, Linda Sanacora, which is her legal name, I would like to invite Dr. Louis Iorio.
I'm most grateful to have the opportunity to stand before you tonight in nominating Linda Sanacora for a 2nd term on the Board of Education. I feel well qualified to perform this task because I have had the honor of serving with Linda on the Board of Education over the past 2 years. It is no secret that many who have sought election to the Board of Education have been motivated to do so in order to advance a specific agenda or special interest. Linda was appointed to the Board of Education, and I am proud to count myself amongst those outspoken in support of her appointment. From the first time she stepped into a Board of Education meeting, I knew we made the right decision for the Board of Education, for the town of Guilford, and most importantly, for our children. I recall well the smile on her face as she labored to carry home a stack of policy manuals, briefing documents, and memoranda bigger than she, which she planned to study in order to make certain she was well informed and fully prepared to address the important issues facing the Guilford School District. And study she did. Linda was asking thoughtful questions and suggesting well-reasoned solutions to Board of Education issues from the time of her very first meeting. She possesses a keen intellect, complemented by a forceful and articulate presence, which makes clear to all the depth of her understanding and the extent of her commitment to the Board of Education. Linda has come to be valued and respected by all members of the Board of Education. We have been very fortunate to serve on the Board of Education with an absolutely wonderful group of Republicans and Democrats alike. Our working relationship has been a critical part of the successes of the Board of Education that have led to drastic improvements in education in Guilford. Linda is an integral part of the Board of Education and deserves to share fully in being recognized for the advances we have made. I have complete confidence that Linda will continue to bring to the Board of Education the passion, dedication, and singular focus on the best interests of our children that will assure her continued success on the Board of Education. Linda is most deserving of the respect and gratitude of the Guilford community and the steadfast support of all Republicans in her re-election effort. I hope you will all join me in doing all we can to assure that this valuable member of the Board of Education will continue to serve our community and its children. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis Iorio. Next, I'd like to invite to the podium Mr. Jerry Sanacora.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to get up here to address you and second the nomination for my wife, Linda Sanacora. Lou mentioned that he served with Linda for the past 2 years on the Board of Ed. Well, I've served with Linda for the past 20 years in our marriage. And I can tell you, Linda is a woman of action, somebody who likes to move things forward. Linda is very much an action-oriented individual who's very focused on identifying a problem, evaluating the data that's available for the problem, formulating a plan, and acting on the plan. And I know that's very much what she'd like to do, along with all the other members of the board, in increasing and maintaining and improving the current situation for the children of our town and for all the residents of our town. Thank you very much. I'd like to nominate her for second nomination. Thank you.
And for the record, I will also, as a Republican, second the nomination of Linda Sanacora.